afternoon everybody and welcome to the Flower Patch. My name's Iris Smith and I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Welcome guys. First of all, I'd just like to apologise for not doing a video yesterday. I had some extremely important admin work to do and I really had to do it and get it done and send it to my accountants. So unfortunately I was unable to do it because I had to create new spreadsheets and things like that as well. So it went on for a while, but it's done. And this morning I've taken it to the accountants, so we're all happy. So thank you for understanding. Today I'm going to use one of these new wreaths that I used, that I've purchased. Let's have a look, 16-inch grapevine wreath, and I've had actually a request, oh goodness me, it's got to be between 8 and 12 days ago, from a lady. She did say don't rush. I obviously haven't, but she did say her husband wanted or would like a nice earthy coloured autumn wreath. Now he didn't want floral as such. He didn't mind probably one or two, but he would have liked, gosh, I can't get my words right, liked it with a bit of gold in it, but browns and greens. He didn't want anything with colour, really too much colour. He just wanted those earthy, grounded tones. So that's what we're going to try and achieve today, guys. So before we start, I'm going to go through a few things that I've got out. Now, I've got some of this lotus leaf that I've got. I've got out 5 stems. I don't know why, but I think it's because there's not really that much on them. But I could chop away at them. So, you know, we'll see. Oh, one's tangled around it, the other one. So I've got these, and they've got like a brown with green earthy tone to them with brown stems, and I thought we could incorporate those. I have got out some clears. Now this is just back up because I have got quite a bit of foliage out. Not really, I kept thinking, well, that would look nice, that would look nice, and I couldn't really make my mind up. So I've got some out just in case I change my mind. You know me, guys. So we've got some clears out with the deep red, well, it's like a burgundy brown in the centre. I have got out also just some of my leftovers from my ivy, what I placed on single picks, maybe for the filler foliage as well. And also I've got out these Japanese leaves that are deep burgundy with dark green, you know, in them as well. They're a backup. I don't know whether I'd like to place them in. They may not go with the colour, what we're doing, but we'll see. I got out the sage leaves, not sage leaves, oh God, the sage coloured leaves in the fern, where it's got little bits of brown on some of the leaves. It's very faint, but you know you can see it when you look at it close up. You can see the bits of brown tones hovering around. So we've got that. I've also got out my eucalyptus stems. I did measure these. These are 95 centimetres long. So they're just under a metre, but I've curled them over at the bottom so I can get them in my bucket. So we may incorporate some of those. I have got out 2, well, I've chopped these off of the bunch because there's quite a lot on the bunch. Some of my laurel. Now, some have got that earthy colour where it's like a burgundy brown on them. And then I've also got the other bunch where they've just got the like a bit of limey green on the dark green veins in it as well. So I may mix those up. I have got out Now, I don't know about these. I've looked at them, but I don't know. Some of my pine needles, the wispy ones for the movement, and I thought with it being an earthy look, they would look nice instead of using the long pine needles that I have. I've also got out some artificial wheat with grass. I've got it in two colours in here, one green and one like a cream with a little few tones of brown dotted about in them as well. I've cut off a stem. I thought I'd just cut a few. I didn't want a lot, with the lady saying her husband didn't want too much colour. So I've got a few bits of my filler foliage where it's got I think they may be ruscas, but they've got spiky edging around it. So we may incorporate that. And I've pulled some of my bay leaves off of the bunch as well and placed them on single picks for, you know, dotting probably around the edge or a few on top, with them having like the gold, and then also they look like they look worn actually. So they're giving that worn effect, rustic effect. So I thought they would look quite nice. Now, again, these I've only got out as backup. I've got out some of our bulrush with some grass. I have been, you know, twirling the grass over at the ends because some of them was a bit not straight and had been bent over. So I thought I may curl them, or I may just cut them off singular like that as well. I've also got out some, now these are quite earthy looking, some of, I mean, look how they move, guys. Aren't they beautiful? I love anything like this. But they are really quite earthy. They're like a sandy colour with tones of brown in them as well. I've also, of course, guys, got these lotus heads out. I will use pine cones at once, you know, at some point. But I've just got a thing about these guys. So, and I thought, you know, and I think they give off a lovely effect. So, I mean, so do the pine cones. But at the moment, well, I say at the moment, I had a thing about them last year and bought lots in. So, for the bit of floral that I'm having, now, these were quite sparkly gold, a bit like these. I have got my brown spray paint that I use for artificial flowers, and I've just sprayed them lightly with a bit of dark brown spray, just to give that rustic, earthy, downtone look to them, instead of them being quite bright and, you know, really in your face, because I want it to all blend in with all the tones that I've chosen. So I've got 5 of the hydrangeas out and sprayed them. I've also got out 5 of our lilies. Now, again, these are a bit like rustic, worn sort of a look on these. I have got some what are really quite bright gold, but I thought let's use these as well, maybe on the inside or the outside. We'll see as we go along. And finally, I've got out some sea holly, but in cream colour. Because they've got brown stems as well, and around the thistles at the top they are like a sagey green with a tone of brown in these thistles here as well. So I thought we may incorporate those. I'm not quite sure yet. With us having these, I don't want them to look, you know, or clash together. Not with the colour, but with the roughness and the texture and things. So I've got quite a lot out, but again, I may not use it all. It's just what I feel what may look quite nice together. And I've done 2 bows, a big one and a smaller one with just 2 loops. And I've done the bows in brown and gold. So there is the big one, and I've used, I always from 2.5 inches. And this is silk wired ribbon. It's got the silk ribbon on in the center as a strip, and it's like more like a, oh, what's the word for them? I can't remember the word for the ribbon, but it's lighter anyway. It'll come to me. on the outside, and then I've used the rustic coloured, you know, gold one with the frayed edge as well. So for that, that's for the bigger one. On the smaller one, I've only done with one of each loop, and then I've just placed a smaller centerpiece in the center for that one. So that's to go with the brown earthy tones that we're going to do. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we're going to get cracking. So one moment, guys. So let's see how far we can get you in, because with it being a 16-inch wreath, it is going to be quite a large wreath. So we'll try it there, guys. I'll have a look. If I remind myself, I'll have a look as we're going along to see how, you know, how much you can see on the camera. I'm not really going, I haven't really tidied this wreath up, because with it being a rustic look, I want to keep it like that and have all these little wispy pieces coming off. Let's take the tag off. And I you know, I'd just like to keep it as that rustic theme to it. Now, usually I tend to tidy the wreath bases up depending on, you know, what I'm actually doing. But on this case, it's going to stay as it is. So I've got my hook and we're going to place it. Oops. I've already tied a knot in it. So we're going to place it on the top there, and I'm going to work upside down so it's as, you know, you can see it as though you would be doing it yourself and it's facing you. So let's have a look. Crikey, you don't realise how much you've got until you actually do it. So let's have a look at our eucalyptus. Oh my goodness. I'll try to keep everything out of the way so you can actually see. Let's just bend them. Take the tags off. Now these were, again, I mentioned it the other day, are quite expensive. I did get them from a local store, a home-based store called B&Q in the UK. They are £5 for one stem, so they are quite pricey, guys. But you can get them cheaper. It's just that I spotted them when I was there and I just couldn't walk past them. So I don't want too many of these in because we've got that much foliage. I don't really want to hide them. So I'm going to look to cut them in half. Can that pull out of there? No. And I will save these in case I need them for a pick for anything. No, that's going on the floor. So I want to keep them like they are. And I'm going to be placing it up here. We will attach our bow again as we go along. And now I've not used these wreaths before. These are new to me. So I'm not sure how, they look quite tight. So I'm not sure how they're going to play along with what I'm doing. They should be okay. I hope you all had a wonderful day yesterday. Was any of you busy, or are you planning on going on vacation or, you know, on a holiday anywhere? I don't have time to go on holiday, unfortunately. You can twist the leaves round on these, you know, to make them face the, you know, upwards, so the instead of some facing upside down. So So let's just do that with those. Let's see if we've got any here. These are relatively all the same way. So I'm only going to put 2 stems in. Let's get... Oh, a young lady was asking me about Benji, if I still see Benji. I do still see Benji. I take him for a walk every day, well, 5 days a week. At the moment, he's not very well. His owner went on away for the weekend, and they put Benji in the boarding kennels just for the weekend, and he contracted kennel flu. So he's now coughing a lot. He's not allowed to go really anyway because it's contagious. So this morning I've just taken him next door. We've got in a cul-de-sac, there's a greenery, there's field in the centre of the cul-de-sac, and I've just quickly let him go on there, but then took him straight home, and it doesn't sound well, coughing, bless him. So they have consulted the vets, and they are, you know, the owners are, well, his owner is, you know, looking after him. So bless him. It does sound quite horrible, really loud, and like he just can't clear his throat, and a deep cough. It's quite sad, bless him. So let's hope he gets better soon. And it can be actually the kennel cough, as they call it, can pass on to cats. It's very rare humans will get it, but you have to keep him away from other animals. So really he needs to stay on his own garden. But it's only literally 20 seconds from his house to the grass here. We was on his own on the green. There was no other dogs there. So it was, you know, it was okay. I am concerned about him. I'm going to just take one off at the top here to put in the centre. I'll make it slightly shorter. And plus, you know, obviously, because I've dealt with Benji today, I have, you know, washed my hands and thoroughly. I didn't stroke him. I didn't want to stroke him because I didn't want to get any of his kennel flu or, you know, bacteria on me to pass and then pass on to my cats. So I did wash my hands thoroughly, which it does state to do. And Benji is, you know, back in his home with lots of water and some snacks if he does get hungry. It's not very nice to see little pets of your own or any animal suffering. Right, so now I've put the eucalyptus on, and this is, again, we're going to do it quite a grounded, earthy look. So it's going to be lots of foliage. Now, I'm going to want to place in the lotus leaves as well. I want some of these as length. So let's cut them into 3. And I'll save that as well. And just manipulate them, bend them a few directions to give them that more of a natural look. I'm just trying to see, you know, just take a look at them and see which way the leaves are facing. Some are facing backwards, unfortunately, and that you can't, well, you may be able to, well, you can't twist it. It won't allow it. So I don't want to snap. So we're going to bring these in here, in between. Oops, that's gone through. It's quite a secure wreath, I must admit. So I may get some more of these. They do them in different sizes. I did get them from a company in the UK. They used to have shops on the high street, but they closed them down. But they still do sell things online, and it's called Wilko's. A lot of us in the UK all know who that is. So go and check them out. They do, you know, different sizes. So I may stock up on some of the smaller sizes as well. And they've got somewhat little twiggy bits where they've not got any leaf on. That's part of the, you know, the decoration of it. It's like the leaves are starting to fall off in the autumn. Let's just place that one here. Oops, a daisy. They are quite hard to somehow place in. That's it. Let's just get rid of that glue. Let me bring one here. Make sure it's the right way. Oh my goodness, it is secure. Let's just bend it outwards. Check that I haven't gone through anywhere. No, beautiful. So we've got some of those. I may, with the, oops, get those off my fingers. With these last 2, place one on either end. So I don't need those. So we can place these here as well. It's a shame. They look like they've got little pieces here where a piece of the bark has snapped off, or you could think it may be a new growth to a new stem, which makes it look quite realistic. And then one at the other end. Which way would it go? So we'll do one up here as well. So we've got the eucalyptus and the lotus leaves in to give that autumnal an earthy look. I don't mind doing earthy look ones because I find them more, you know, really natural. You can really make your wreaths look quite earthy and grounded, and I like that. Let me just look at these now. I am debating about these. I'm not in doubt. I'm just wondering whether they will suit what we're doing. Actually, they don't look too bad if I bring them on the outside to fill in some gaps. So let's take the big band off. These come as single stems. They don't come on a bunch, so they are just single stems, and they are wired right to here from the top, because obviously the pines are quite wispy, and they are rubber texture as well, really soft, which is quite nice. So you can manipulate that and have it standing. So let's place one here. Well, it's my dear friend's funeral tomorrow, guys. And that's my wedding anniversary tomorrow as well. She was not much older than me. Bless her. But the choir members are, because she was in the choir as well, the choir members are going to be singing at her funeral. Singing about four songs for her, some of her favourite songs. So we'll place some. I'll keep turning it around, guys. I do like these wreaths, I've got to admit. And I've only just placed a few things in, but they are quite, they do hold your stems in really well. I do. We may place some on top as we go along, further along. I may need one here and then one up there as well along, because I can see, looking here, there's a gap here, so one may look nice here. Excuse me. And I'll do the same up above here as well. There's a gap here. Place that there. Right, I won't place any more in as of yet. What did I do with that? Oh, it's here. Crikey. I'll just place the rubber band over them. And put them there for now. Now, I've got some on single picks. I started putting some on single picks, but then stopped because I wasn't sure how many I was going to need. I don't know whether to place these on top instead of, with them being small, instead of this. So yeah. What about goodness. Bring these in. It's got the green. I cut 3 of each off, 3 of each colour. I'm just going to place them to see what they would look like. Oh, around here, and then bring one coming in like so. Yes, I'm going to do that. Looking at it from this angle, it does look quite nice. So let's add those in there. Just move around as we go. And I'm slightly lifting them up instead of them being flat, just to give that fullness and your volume. Oh, I found another one. So I may bring these two. In fact, I'll bring these on the ends. With them being long stems on the end, I'll just bring something smaller to sit underneath the long stems. And here, bring them just at the bottom, place the longer stem on top. So it's like it's filling, you know, like filler foliage. I thought I'd cut 3 of each. So we've placed in now our laurel. I want to, just before we carry on, add in our bows. Now, I want this one to perhaps sit here, then the other one just to sit down here. Oh, doesn't that look pretty? Brown and gold, doesn't it look nice together? So let's get in our bow. Excuse me. I am using a weaving needle just to thread it through the grapevine without struggling. So I'm going to place, let's just make sure it's sitting right first. Yeah. If I can get these through, guys. Oh, yes. So that's one. So we'll turn where the tail ends need to be up above, because the long tail ends, I could easily make a waterfall effect. That's the reason I've left the tail ends long, so I can use the ribbon or to go around here to meet up with that one. It was just a little idea I had in my head. thought what may look quite good and pretty. Come out of the needle. So we've got that one, and before I decide to fasten it, I'm just making sure that the bow is in the right position that I'd like it to be. So that's that one. So I'm going to grab my wire at the back, and I'm just going to twist it. So let's, where's it gone? Oh, here. And then turn it back inside the wire so it doesn't scrape. So that's that one. And maybe that round there. And then we'll place the other one in around here. So, oh my goodness, my tummy's grumbling. Why does my tummy always grumble when I do a video? Now let's have a look. Do I do it like so? Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. Lean it off to one side. Let's have a look, make sure it doesn't go through the same hole. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So again, I'll do the same. I'll have the loops at an angle going towards the other bow. Right. So it's brown gold, brown gold. So I'll do it like that. And I'll do the same here. Twist your wire. And bend it back in. Push it right in there. So we've got that bow on as well. Now let me just have a look at these tail ends. Is that the right way? Yeah. So I may, to make it look like it's flowing from here and looking like it's attached, I may bring this one down here. Let's see if I can bring it around there. I may do that, guys. I quite like that. Let me just get a wire, and I'm just going to pinch them together at the bottom. Place bit of wire around them. In fact, I've just come up with a thought. Because I always do a centerpiece, why don't I just add a loop here as well before I actually attach it? With just a bit of tail end. I may get the gold out as well. Where's the gold? Here was the gold. Do one at the same length. So we'll use those. So let's just undo this wire. And I'm placing them on top of each other. And I'm just going to do because I don't want it a big loop. So I'm going to do about a 3-inch loop. And I'm not twisting anything. I may twist one of the tail ends on the dark brown. And get these again. I could place it right at the bottom. Get my wire, go around it, or use a pipe cleaner, whichever you prefer. Twist at the back. And I may place that there. Or do I go around? I may go on. Let me just see how it looks. I may just pull these ones down a little because I don't want them too big. I'm just pulling the tail ends. I think that would be better. So let's get these through as well. If I can. One and the other one. Where's the... I can't see it coming. Oh, I've pulled the other one out, guys. Oh my goodness. Right, let me just pause the video, guys, while I sort it out, because it's a bit tough and I don't want to bore you. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to get it in. I should have left the camera running, really, because once I sat down and I did it, it went straight through. Never mind. We've done it. So I've done, you've got your big bow at the top. I just fluff that up. Bring that waterfall there. With your tail ends going down there, where I've just added those other extra 2 loops. I have cut off the brown tail ends and just left the little gold ones on. And then we've got the 2 loops at the bottom as well with a slightly longer tail ends. So it all sort of like looks like it's a marriage where they're flowing from one to the other with the ribbon, or the bow, should I say. So let me just have a look. Yes, I quite like that. Right, let's carry on, guys. I'm wanting to, I think I may bring these up above. Yeah, definitely. So do I? They may look quite nice. I think I'm going to place in the hydrangeas. And get those placed in as well. Not everybody's a fan of the grounded, earthy look. You know, people do like the nice, bright colours. But we're all different, aren't we? We all like different style. I like anything. Anything with flowers. And greenery. Oh, I'm a big fan of greenery. I can't get enough of it. As you've probably seen in some of my many designs, the amount of greenery that I actually do place in. But I think greenery does actually make the arrangement looks quite, you know, stunning. Especially different textures. Right, I'm going to place that there. I'm going to bring one here. So I'm going to have 3 on this side, and then I'll have a look about placing one either end there, but just slightly under, or I may bring a couple, just the other 2 on the outer side. I'll have to have a look which I feel looks more eye-pleasing. Just get that under there. Just mixing it in with some of our foliage. Like so. So let's just do I bring them down here? So we've got them all basically on one side, and then I can place the smaller gold like lilies or leaves or foliage on the ends. I may do that. Bring them where the tail ends is on here, and where the tail ends is on the bow at the top as well. But on the, you know, place them on the outer side, just underneath. Bring them there. And then where the tail ends is also on here. So I've done it like that, so they are on the outer side, as you can see there, And then on the outside there, I think this one's a little bit, not really got much to hold on. It's flopping because these are quite weighty. Let's get the glue off. Cut the stem a little. And just replace it somewhere where it's got a bit more strength. There. So we've done that with our hydrangeas. And I want to bring, I think I'm going to parse these guys and have them dotted about. Do I have them in a half cluster? Yeah, I may have them in half of a cluster, or a cluster of 3. I'll do that with the others as well. 1, 2, 3. So we've got those. I want to also crikey, there's that much, you just want to use it all and get them all in. It's dead exciting. So I think for definite I'm going to bring one of these on either end, a cluster of 3. So let's do that with these. Let me put a bit more glue on because these are quite top heavy with the weight of the floral bouncing about. They are wired as well, so just manipulate them in a different direction or leave them as a cluster together like that. And then do the same here. Just bend it in a bit. So we've got that cluster there as well. See if we've got anything coming through. No, is that wood? I can hear some wood scratching. Is it that piece of that wood? There. So I've got 2 left. So I'm going to bring one around here and then one around here as well. So let's get those in also. Because I've only got 4, so I'm going to place them, these other 2, you know, around the centre part of the wreath. So we've got that as well. Those placed in. Now, do I want to put the wheat in. And this is going to be movement. I think I'm going to place in the light colour because I think that would look better than having the green, you know, with it having a sandy tone to it. If I can pull them out, guys. I think that's the wrong colour. Yeah. How many did I get? 3, 4. Do I go for? Let's go for 5. I put a couple on here. These are smaller stems. I must have used some and not used all of them. So with the smaller stems, and they're very floppy, the wheat. There's no wire in them. So if you just want that floppiness, you know, you can sit them on top of other foliage to, you know, so they've got some support. And so we'll do that down here as well. So they've got support to sit on. I'm going to bring one up here as well. And I've got one I can bring. Do I bring them like that? And then maybe bring one in the center. So let's cut that one down. I haven't really come up with a design on this one. I just knew concerning the bow, you know, the colours of it, and I knew I wanted 2 in to start with, and I was considering having a waterfall with that. I knew that's what I wanted with the ribbon, but concerning where I was going to place everything else, I'd not really thought about it. Sometimes I do have a plan or a design in my head and I go with that design, and other times I don't. Oh, I can't get the glue off my hands. And I think it's a good challenge for oneself by not having a plan and just working with what you've got and creating something extraordinary without having a plan. I think that's a great challenge. It's a good learning journey for you. Excuse me. I may bring one just coming in woods there. I don't want it too long because they are floppy. So I like to bring things in from the inwards in towards the center of the wreath also. I'll just add that little bit there. So I've just brought this in here. So I don't need the wheat. Now let me look at these. Let's bring some of these inwards, more on top than on the outer side. I can get that in. Just to give a bit of gold leaf coming in, and I'm leaning it towards the outer side on this on the top, and I'll do the same on the bottom and lean it at an angle, going, you know, following the shape of the wreath. So I'm bending them to give that shape. To go around. If I can just like that. I guess if you like browns and things for Christmas, this probably would look, you know, really pretty for Christmas too, with it having the gold in. I think that would look really quite nice. Let's see. I may place one here because I've got a gap here. Oh, I've split a bit of the stem. Let's see if we can work with that. And just bring a piece here. And I'd probably do the same around here as well, with it being, so then you've got the hydrangea in the center and two gold pieces of foliage at the side. Isn't that pretty? Now I've got two left, so I just need to see where I want to place the other two. Do I bring a third there and bring it in between the waterfall? Then what would I do with this one? Do I place one there and one there instead? I think you'd want the bigger one because that's got more on it there. Let's have a look. Or do I cut it down? I'm going to cut it down so then I've got three pieces, smaller pieces. And I'm going to stick one here. I'm going to place one here and then I'll have one maybe here. So let's get one in there. And then this one up here. And then this smaller one. Just where the wheat is on the inner side. Bring some gold coming in there as well. Like that. I think that looks quite pretty at the moment as far as we've got. I really do. Yes, I do. Quite nice. Nice, as we say, earthy look. There is quite a bit of gold in, I'm starting to notice. So with the lilies, I'm going to take these off these stems and put smaller ones on so I can save those for pics. So I'll perhaps place these on the bottom, on the outer side, because there is a lot of gold going off on there. I have got the leaves as well, so I may disregard the bay leaves because I don't want, oh, well, that was hard. I don't want too much of the, you know, the gold. I want it to still feel earthy. So when we start getting more browns in, it will, you know, start to bring back the earthy look, because I think I'm starting to disguise a little bit of it. And we don't want that, guys. Right, 1, 2, 3. So we've got those on picks. I'll save that one as well. So we will place now these, with me having 5, I'm going to place these on the outside, but I'm going to put one here on the outside, one around here on the outside, and there, and then somewhere around there as well. So they are then will be situated underneath. So let's get these and just pop them underneath. Get that leaf there. So I'm lifting them under the around the eucalyptus, just underneath, so the eucalyptus has got a bit of gold around it as well. So I'm incorporating colour at the bottom of the foliage. And there. Excuse me. And one under here. And then one just under here as well with this eucalyptus. I think that was close enough actually. So we've got those lilies on the outer side now as well, as you may see around. There's still a few gaps. Let's have a look at the bulrush. I don't really care for the grass on the bulrush, if I'm being quite honest. So I could take the grass off. Yeah, let's get some bulrush in and bring some brown tones around. Oh, there's 6. I'll use maybe 7. Because this grass, with it being quite, if it bends over or gets caught in a bucket and it's squashed, it tends to sort of like I've just touched it, and it does that. It gives you a crease. And sometimes the only way to get that crease out is rub your fingers up it or your nails just to try and straighten that crease out. But I don't really care for the grass in here, so I'm not going to use it. So we've got 3, 6, so I want one more. Let's get the one in the centre. It seems to be slightly longer. Oh, hang on. Got a tag on it, so there we go. So I've got the bulrush, and I'm going to, because there's a lot of gold leaf and the hydrangeas and the ribbon, I'm going to bring some of this brown inwards so it can be seen, so it can, you know, separate all the gold just by adding a little bit of brown. Let's separate a bit of colour here. Bring that brown tone in. Let me just place one here. I must admit, guys, this wreath is quite good. It's quite strong. And I do quite like wreaths like that. Just give it a little bend. So I've got two more. I may bring one under here. So let's do that. So I've formed a bit of a triangle with the bulrush on the ends. So I've got one here, so I bring one just slightly under there. If I can, I think I need to push it in a little bit more. Let's cut the stem a little. And also, once we've got our lotus heads in as well, with them being dark brown, that would give off as well and break up all the gold. Doesn't that look nice? Doesn't that look nice? Brown and gold. What a lovely colour. As we said, it's earthy. Now let me just have a look at these. No, they spoil it with it being red. More red than brown. And again with my fern, I'm going to have that like on top so it looks like it's floating on top. Again, with it being small. So let's get the lotus heads in as well. Now let's see where we'd like to place these. Again, we've only got the bulrush here, but it is tiny, so it doesn't really break too much up of the gold. So let's see if we place one of these in, if it would be too much. I don't actually think it would be that much. I'll just place that there. Just place that one there. As well, if we're placing obviously filler foliage, I think that would help as well. I think, do I place one around here? Do I bring that one further down? I talk to myself a lot, guys, when I'm not on camera and I'm doing this. I'm not crazy. Not yet. And then bring one here as well. So again, it's giving, I think that looks quite nice, wouldn't you say? So I think we're going to do that, guys. Because there is a big gap here. I want to place something above. I will be placing filler foliage in because we've got our ivy that I'd like to be placing in at the bottom. I'm not sure about the clears, if I'm being quite honest. Again, with it having that rich, the red tone, I think that spoils it, just like the Japanese leaves that I got out. I was trying to think of what other leaves I could use. Maybe for filler. So I don't want to be using anything. I'll have a look in a minute. But let's get these in. I don't want to keep changing what I'm doing. I can be a bit terrible for that. I tend to sometimes go off course with what I was starting to do, and then I start thinking about something else and my mind wanders onto that. So yes, I was like that at school when I was a young girl. I was easily distracted at school. After, what's holding that? Do the same with this one. Place that there. And then our last one. I've got to be a bit careful around here. As you can see, there is a lot now of brown around here with the lotus heads and the ribbon. So I need to slightly, I will break that up, I think, by placing in some of the sea holly. So let's get that sea holly in. Yeah, by breaking it up with all that brown, that will help as well. So bring in a light colour if you've got dark, too much dark colours together. Just pop in a light colour to break it up. So it doesn't look too much. I think that may need to go there. Well, I asked my son to get me some new cutters from his workplace. I had to ring him today at work and remind him. He'd totally forgot about it. Even though I gave him the money for them a couple of days ago. Well, when did I give him the money? Sunday. I think it was Sunday, if I'm being quite honest. So yeah, more than a couple of days. And I'll bring one up here as well where these two lotus heads are. And I'll put one, I think, around here. We definitely need another one around here. I've got to fill in that space there because I can see a gap. Just, if you can see, just there, it's like my fistful. There's nothing there. So I'm going to perhaps either put some more foliage in there, or in fact I may place in another one of these pine leaves, or tree pine they are actually, and bring that one in, because it's just slightly, you know, when you see something, guys, and it's just slightly irritating because you think you can keep seeing it there. That's sort of took that boldness away. Now this one, do I bring there, or do I'm going to bring slightly in. Just have some of it on the bottom as well, with it having the brown ribbon here and the brown ribbon here. Just give some of that, you know, colour around it. I may bring it up a bit, just to again separate those. Do I bring one on the ends? Yeah, I'm going to bring one on the ends. I'm going to pull them off and put them on picks. Whoops a daisy. And put one on either end of the wreath as well. When you look at, I don't think cameras or anything like that do things justice, because it's not natural light, is it? But when you're doing it yourselves, and I guess you all do it the same anyway, you notice it yourselves, that when you stand in person with it, it looks really, you know, really, really nice, the colours and everything. But then sometimes when I take a picture, it doesn't look as nice as it does in person. I guess I probably need some more different lighting for it, more of a natural light for my lens or something like that. And we'll put that one there. So we've got that in. Let me just see. I can still feel something, but there's no stems come out. I'm wondering if it's that big clump of wood here. I wonder if I can just cut that. Oh, maybe. Because there's no stems, so... Oh no, I could have made it worse. Or is it that one? I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to see if I can just chop that bit off. I may have made it even worse. And there's one here too. It's just not sitting flat within the wreath, so it's just slightly sticking, protruding upwards. So that's better. There's no scraping sound. Right, so now let's get in some of our fern. Let's get rid of the rubber bands. Just get rid of some of our mess, because I know under here is quite messy. Right, so with our fern, again, I'm going to bring these floating on top for movement. I'm not going to be, you know, hiding things because they are airy. So it's just to bring some more greenery, because the greenery is all basically along the bottom. So bring some of that greenery up above, and we'll have some floating around up there. So let's try that. So let's just lift that up. I know some people, I've had a couple of people actually ask me, is it, you know, would it look silly? I can't, well, not would it look silly. I can't believe you've added fern on top. I was always taught to place it on the bottom when they took a floristry course. You know, what's in their local town. It doesn't matter, guys. You can place anything wherever you feel it gives it an effect or interest. There's no right or wrong way, or, you know, of where you want to place things. As long as you get just the idea of placement, and, you know, the spacing and things like that, you can put anything on top. You know, you don't have to put fern on the bottom. I don't think, you know, all my experience, that, you know, that doesn't matter. Foliage will look great anywhere. Again, as long as there's the correct spacing, things like that. But, you know, I've many times placed fern on top, bigger than this, longer than this one as well. Long crocodile fern, and it looks outstanding. It gives off a wonderful effect. So I advise the lady, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with it. But everybody's got their own ideas, haven't they, of what looks good and what doesn't. But I've placed these on top, and you can barely see them, if I'm being quite honest. They're not in the way. I need something in there. It's just to add on that little bit of greenery above when I'm, you know, when you're using a colour, too much of a colour up above, and it wants something to help it along, bring in the greenery. I love greenery. I know I keep saying it, but I do. Green's my favourite colour of anything anyway. But yeah, it's just wonderful. The textures, the shapes, the interest. I'm going to bring one there as well. I'm going to do that here, bring it coming outwards. And I'm going to bring one coming in as well. I'm not placing it on the bottom, I'm placing it on the top, but just bending the stem so it just leans outwards. If I can get that one in. Let's just keep pushing. There we go. And just, now I'm going to do it again. I think it needs cutting shorter. Just gonna place that there. think I'm going to bring another one here. Because there's two quite close here, then there's a big gap. So I'm going to just place in another one here, just to balance it a little bit more. And then I'm going to bring one coming inwards in the centre. So I'm going to cut the stem slightly shorter because I don't want it leaning too far in. Let's bring that back up. Right, so now we've got the fern in. Now we've got our ivy. I was thinking of another foliage. I do like ivy, but I want maybe, because don't want to bring too much of each colour in. I want to keep it relatively balanced. So I think it'd be nice if I had a little bit of leaf that would go with these. I don't know. One moment. I think they would be too light. Just looking at them. What's that? Oh no, that's too pink. Oh, I did have something. I can't remember where I placed it. Was that too? Oh, now then. That's quite speckly. It's an autumn with like a browny red and like I don't know whether it's a gold. It's like a goldy cream colour with grey. I think they would look quite nice. You know, with us having these lotus leaves with the brown and green, I think adding a bit of foliage in that may be quite nice. I'm going to give it a little go. I know I've got some small stems I've got. I just want to see the effect, if it's going to look too much. Here's all the little stems. I don't know, when you mix it with the greenery, guys, it does give off quite a nice interest look. I'm just going to place bits around. Oh, I do. Oh, I do. I think some of you may not like this with the birching, but I think it's just giving off that plain, too much brown and too much gold look. Let's see. I'm just placing them on before I think about it. But mixing them in with the foliage actually does look quite nice. But I guess not too much though. You know, if you mix it in with the greenery, the green colour, it just adds that little extra touch. So was it single ones I placed there? They're not single. I'll make them to be single. I think I one could be doing with around here to lighten up the brown, and then one somewhere around there. So what about around here? Green. I think it needs to be going that way. What do you think, guys? Just with a few in, not too many. It just gives it a little bit more earthy look, and it also, with it having like a goldy colour in the leaves as well as like a browny red, it seems to sit really well. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna place any more in. I'll maybe actually place one coming on the inside. Let's look for a better leaf than that. And I think with these, I think I'm going to definitely do that, because looking at it here looks really nice. So let's get these in. And then we're going to be placing, what's that bit long to? Oh, there. Let me just get this one in. Well, on the outer side. There. And then as we're going to place just under here some green foliage. Okay, you could use salal, you could use, you know, the ivy like I'm using. Let me just take a few out. Excuse me. You could easily, let me think, I'm trying to think now, callias, if you've just got green callias. Yeah, something with a little bit of a broader leaf. Oh, I keep wanting to pick that one up. Let's see. So I'm going along. I'm going to be placing in. I can see a little gap inside here. So I'm just going to place a piece of ivy in there as well. So with the filler foliage, I don't have a particular place that I place them. If I just see a gap, then that's basically what your filler foliage is. Just filling in those little areas that I've got gaps. And I like to also push it down a little bit further, just to give it that depth as well. Bring that one there. I will tidy the bow up, guys. So as you notice, I'm cutting the stems about 2.5 to 3 inches long. You see, I've got a little gap I can see here as well. So I'm filling it in for depth also, so as you look through, you don't really see too much. I'm going to cut quite a few down. See, there are a little. I could place those two together. Excuse me. So, I'm going to place this one in. So I'm moving it as I'm putting filler foliage in as I go around, and I'm placing in the birch leaves. Because as I go around I can see little areas. Place that one there, and I can see some right underneath where the waterfall effect is, under these long pieces here. So I'm going to be placing in a lot of it in there to hide. Place that one in yet. Place this one in. And I'm just mixing it up with some of the foliage, so it's not just all laid on top. I'm bending a little bit down and having a little bit on the top. Just lift those up, go underneath. A little bit of ivy there as well. Oh my goodness, my tummy. And there's a piece what we're going to need around here of ivy. We're going to need to get some more. Place that in as well. Bring some through. So your foliage looks like it's growing through the bow. Bring it up a bit, I think it would need to sit a little bit up here. So let's just place it through with some of the other foliage, like that, and get some more ivy. Because there's needs a little bit around this side of the bow as well. Then I'm going to go under around here again and place a few bits of ivy down here as well. Just around here so the bulrush doesn't look on its own either. know whether I'm going to be placing the odd one of these in, just so it's not too much green on around the centre. Let me just go around here also. I'm bringing that ribbon slightly inwards because we've got this here. We've got some ribbon under here as well. If you can bend that. I think there's something, because there seems to be a lot of green here, and this is where I mean we could place in some of our other bay leaves. I want just right, there's one there, I can just see it. And with this being quite a big piece of ivy, should be able to, yeah, there we go with that. Let's have a look under there. Right, I could see a little bit there as well. Just check, like when you're looking for some gaps around the inside, if you're wanting to cover the inside, check, you know, under things, because you've got to take into consideration that once this is hanging up, it will be slightly higher than the actual person is, who, you know, who sees it. So they may start to see the gaps underneath. So it's not just about filling the top of it and the sides, it's also going under, and you know, so it's not looking gapey and lonely. So I'm just going to have a quick, right, I can see one more, and it's just by going down to the level on the inside that you can see where some of your gaps are. There. Right, finally, I don't want any more of those or any of our tree pine. So it's just going to be the gold bay leaf now. Hi, hun. So it's going to be those. Oh, I've just got some ribbon I've just dropped. What colour is that? Green. And then we should be finished. So let's just move this. But I'm not going to place in too many. It's just where I see, like here, where you see there's a lot of, oops, I forgot to place one in. A lot of green here. And there needs a little bit of colour. And with this being quite slim, if I just push that through somewhere, just adding that little bit of gold with it takes off all the green, because I take it away and there's just green. So where did this have to go, guys? Was it under here? Let's have a look. I may incorporate it there as well. Can't. I've just caught the leaf with the glue. I can't get it in. Let me put it on a pick. It doesn't seem strong enough. did see a longer one. And then we'll place that one in as well. Let's get it in here. So again, we're going to still place in just a little bit of the gold, so it doesn't look, you know, again, like I say, just green. Even though earlier there was too much gold, but then once we started adding in the darker tones of the browns, and then we started adding, it took that lots of gold away. And then also once we started adding in our filler foliage, it just slightly looked like there was a bit, I'm placing in a lot of green, and I could see it needed a little bit more gold now, placing in its place. I don't want it to touch that ribbon. That goes under. So I'm going to bring one around here as well. I can see. Just, you know, sometimes you don't need to see the whole leaf. You can just see the tip of it popping through as well. Let's have a look. I may bring one in there. Let's get one around here. And as you notice, I'm just bringing them on top. I don't really want them on the bottom. I'm going to break up a bit of this green here with a little bit of the gold leaf. Let's get one in the centre. It can sometimes be hard to find a space with everything in its way. There we go. Need to play around with it if it's just not quite sitting how you'd like it. fluffing up the little loops on the bow a little bit, making them all rounded. Some have gone a little bit flat from just leaning on them. Just give them a little loop, that fullness look. So let's just have a look. Now I need something just here. So I'm wondering, yes, then I may have to now do that with that one. I don't want this long. I just want to get it in with this bit of foliage of the ivy. So just bringing it lower down so it just doesn't look like we've, I guess, placed them all just in a ring, like a frame. Just move them around. We've got one there, so I'll probably bring one in here as well. Like that. Now, I'm not going to place anything else in. So if you just, once you think that, you know, nothing else is needed, just play around with it. Give it a little volume. You know, lift things up. So it's got movement. It's usually the things on the top you just need to lift up, as mainly with you leaning over it. Other than that, I think that looks really quite nice. Earthy look. So let's get the easel, place it on, and let's have a good look. And again, some people just work from the easel and not on a table. But if you work on a table and then you want to place it on the easel like I am doing, let me just grab that. Then then you will see then things. Oh, I've just seen a little, about a millimetre stem, I don't like. And then you will see things when they're hung up as what your customer would see, and then you will start to spot a few more maybe gaps. Just fill them in. I can see one right there. Right there. So we're going to have to fill that area in. So do I actually use another one of these and fill it in with one of these? Yes, because it's quite dark and I've lifted it up. So I'm just going to place in some birch. Still feel something's needed around there. There's not, I seem to have not put much foliage there. I don't know why. Let me see. There it is. There it is. I couldn't see it. Sorry about this, guys. Let me just lift up the camera. Saves you just looking at my workbench. I'll just leave it there a moment. I'll bring the wreath back over. Now I've got it on the easel. Can you see around here? Brown, brown, and it's brown. So there's 3. I need to part those because by moving that loop on the ribbon, it's showing that there's a gap there just by moving it out of the way. So then I need to place some filler foliage in there to fill it in and part all the brown. That was better. Bring that actually inwards. There. So if I bring that inwards, then I feel that there's something missing there too. So I'm going to place in 2 more ivy. Just through the centre of these tail ends. Place 1 there and then 1 there. There, that's better. You know what, guys, I do like, you know when something's just not quite looking right and it challenges your mind and you're trying to come up with a solution. I love that. I find that very, I don't know what the word is, but I love, not that I enjoy making mistakes or not mistakes, enjoy noticing that I've not filled it in correctly. What I'm saying is I like, if I've missed something out unintentionally and not noticed, I do like to sort of like challenge myself to come up with a solution to fix it. I don't know, I just find that's quite healthy, really. Healthy for your brain. You know, start thinking, giving those thoughts, wondering how to resolve things. I just quite like that sort of thing. Am I crazy? I hope not. Anyway, I'm not going to do no more. And even though we had the big long tail ends as the waterfall effect, now we've placed in the elements around it, it doesn't make it look so big. So then it just makes it look like you've got your bow here, then you've got another little bow down here, and it's, you know, joined up with it, and then you've got this one here. And I'm going to come and just have a stand back just to see. I think that's quite nice. Let me just fluff this bottom area up and give it that movement with the tail end. So it's just not moving much. I've got the other gold piece around here somewhere. Here it is. Bring those in. and give it that movement as well. Let's have a look. Yes. So I think, guys, that is, you know, a nice grounded look with it being browns and golds. It's nothing too bright. I mean, that's what the ladies requested, browns and golds, which I think is a lovely colour. And you know, if you want to add in something, you know, all the different textures of browns or golds, it doesn't have to be, you know, painted gold. It could be a little bit of glitter, if you like to add in a little bit of glitter, or gold berries as well. Now that's one thing I haven't got. I'm just looking, I haven't got gold berries. I think I've got silver. I'll have to have a look in my Christmas, because I've got some of my Christmas foliage here. I have it in the corner for things like this. The rest of the Christmas things are packed away, but just the gold and the silver, and also I have I have some pink as well, you know, out, because, you know, because sometimes on a summer arrangement I will add a bit of sparkly pink foliage to go with it. So I do keep those out, but the rest, the candy cane and everything like that, the attachments are all boxed away. So again, for things like this, I keep them out, and I think because they are an all year round colour. Personally, that's my, you know, what I think. Because obviously you have your golden wedding anniversary, you have your silver wedding anniversary, you know. Oh, and I've got a bit of blue still out as well. So you can have pink for girls, blue for boys, or blue for girls, pink for boys. You know, I know a lot of men who like pink, you know. So it's not a gender colour at all. You know, it's for anybody. But again, if you don't have these lotus heads, use pine cones or use anything else like twigs instead, you know, to add in there. But again, mix with it being dark brown and gold. If you feel you want to add in a lighter shade of brown with the dark brown, that's totally fine, guys, because it's the same colour but just a different tone. That's all. You know, and add in some bit of wheat or something like that. If you've not got the wheat, add in some either a stilby. You can, you know, you can get a stilby where you can get it in cream colours. I've got it. You can get it in milky white and things like that. Or if you've got some spray for your florals, you know, spray some of them like I did with the hydrangeas. I just sprayed a bit of dark brown spray on them, just to give them a little bit of a rustic look. And again, if you don't have the eucalyptus I've got, you know, guys, I know it's expensive, but there's nothing wrong with using willow, you know, other eucalyptus, ficus. I'm a big fan of ficus. I know there's a lot of people who aren't, but, you know, you can use anything like that. And if you've not got this, oh, I've not put this one in. If you've not got this colour, birch, add in green birch, you know, instead of the other foliage. Can't believe I've not placed that in. And do that instead. Oh, excuse me. I've got some green birch. I've got this. I've got other orange birch. But, you know, things like that. And if you haven't got this colour thistle, again, don't worry. Put some of these pom-pom balls in as well instead for that rough texture. I always say it adds smooth texture with rough texture, you know, and wispiness with and airy leaves with solid leaves, small leaves with bigger leaves. Always go the opposite of something, you know, at the other end of the scale, you know, like small and big. It's the opposites. Do things like that. If you don't have bulrush, don't worry, guys. I've had this a while. you know, I don't get many people asking for it, so I do have not much of it, because I know not lots of people you know request it. But if you don't have bulrush, use the little bunny tails that you can get, or a few feathers if you wish, you know, small tiny feathers. Really, something what's just tinier like this. The world's your oyster, guys. You can have fun with absolutely anything, and enjoy it when you do, because it's a wonderful, wonderful, you know, job to have, or a hobby to do, you know, just something to enjoy your time, and you know, because you want to create something. It's a fabulous thing to do, it really is, and I find it very relaxing, and I guess many of you do too. So have fun creating one, guys. Again, try and challenge yourself and do something with a dark brown. I know some people do blacks and golds. I've done many blacks and golds, but try it with the earthy look, the grounded look, and you'll be, you know, proud of yourself, because I know you'll all do a fabulous job. So keep up your great work, guys. You know, just keep it up. You know, you can only get better and better. That's the only way you can get. You can't get worse. There's you know, it's not logic, is it, really? You can't start off good and then get bad. You can't. You just keep climbing that ladder, guys, and I know that's what you all are doing, because you're fabulous people, you know, and you come up with some cracking ideas of your own. And you know, it'd be lovely to see some of your pictures so I can see, and you may inspire me to have a go at something you've done too. I'd love that. I really would. So have fun creating one, guys, with or without a bow, but enjoy it. And you know, you don't have to do it on such a big scale as I have. Smaller size wreath, fine, it's fine. And don't always listen to some people and say you can't have your ferns on top. Oh yes, you can. You know, it's what you like, your taste. That's what it all boils down to. You know, what's pleasing to your eye. So, and I'm a good believer, true believer of that. So have fun. Please subscribe, share and like. Click that notification button, so when I do a video, you will get a reminder on your iPhone or iPad, or you know, your mobile phone, whichever, your cell phone, anything like that. And you know, share it to your friends and family, bring them along. They may be inspired to have a go themselves, and what fun they will have. So have a wonderful day, guys. I won't be here tomorrow. I have got I am searching for a few more new trade wholesalers to see if I, you know, and register with them. I want to sort of like broaden my wholesalers. I want more than what I've got. You know, I've stuck with these for so long, so I know what they tend to have in. I'm trying to look for something different. So a lot of research going into it. Well, have fun. Have a wonderful weekend. And I shall have a nice wedding anniversary tomorrow, researching. But you can't beat it. So have a great weekend, guys. Take care, look after yourselves, and, you know, keep creating, keep doing your wonderful work. I love you all. Keep your comments coming, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye for now, guys. Bye-bye. Right. Oh, you couldn't really see that, could you, on there? Oh, that's a shame. You know, I need to get my internet connected up, so then I can see on my iPad or laptop what you can see, and then I can alter it, because otherwise I have to keep coming out from behind my workbench. Not that I mind, but it's not fair for you guys, I don't think. Let's bring it in a bit of light. Right, let's see if it zooms in. That's a bit. Right, there is your, like, as you can see, I don't know if you can see on the camera where I've sprayed it, and you can see the bit of, when I say fine, it's like a fine mist of brown that I've sprayed on. not too much. So you may see the darker shades in some areas than others on the hydrangeas. So there is our brown lotus leaves, our eucalyptus. There's the dappled colour of the birch, and the lovely rustic and colour, sandy colour pom-poms. I don't know if they're little alliums or not. They could be, I guess. Then we've got our laurel with the lime. Oh gosh, it's not zooming in. With the lime green veins. Where's the other laurel with the red? And there's the other laurel. Well, it's a burgundy brown in it as well. What else did we use, guys? Oh, obviously plenty of ivy. We've used our like a rustic colour, like a worn effect, not too shiny, gold bay leaf. We've used our creamy coloured thistle or sea holly. You see, it looks like a bit like ruscus, but on the edge, guys, look at the spikes. Now, I'm not sure if that is ruscus. I'll have to think about that. And then we've got our wheat down here as well. And then we've got, as you can see, our beautiful silk ribbon with the thicker strip in the centre and the thinner ones at the side, which is dark brown. It looks a bit black on the sides here, but it's dark brown, guys. And then our wonderful gold frayed edge ribbon as well, which is slightly, I'd say, a bit off. Well, it's gold, yeah, but it's not a bright gold. It's a bit more of a rustic gold, I think. And then we have our bulrush as well. Oh, and our fern. Can't forget the fern. And we can't forget our, here we go, well, let's go here, our tree pine. And it's rubber. This is fabulous. So have fun, guys. Oh, yeah, there's one thing I missed. Our lilies. You see the rustic, the worn look on them? And they look like they've got a bit of brown in them where it's worn or looks like it's been scraped. I think that's a grand effect. So have a wonderful time creating one, guys. Take care and have a great weekend. And I'll see you all on Monday. Bye for now.